Oh, welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, especially when they are birthday wishes for
No way!
Spurpus says, happy birthday,
Spurpus.
Tori. Have a little glass of bubbly and a hug to sweet Josie Rose.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's lovely.
And then we got Curly Girlness. Happy birthday, Tori. Wishing you many, many more, my friend. And there's a lot more just echoing that sentiment.
That means a lot. I've been having a hard time this beginning of this year only because of some illness surrounding me with other people. And I really want to say this support's really lifted me up. Thank you all out there. It means a lot to me. I love you so much. I love you.
Happy birthday.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. If you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Julia Roberts is opening up about her career for Vogue magazine. She's sharing the key to looking young.
A cool shot.
And the family of George Carlin is slamming a special featuring the AI version of the late comic. We're going to talk all about it next.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
Just stop.
this is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. Stephanie Jones joining us.
Yes.
Yes. Tori Shulman's birthday.
Yes.
Jig.
That's it?
Oh, there's more coming.
Okay, good.
I guess
All right,
there is
good.
now.
Because she's been teasing that she's going to do a jig during the broadcast, but I thought you were going to actually get up.
I will.
You
Don't
will
worry.
at some point.
Just warming up.
Okay,
Get
all
rid of
right.
that last little bit of credibility we have. That'll be good.
All right, let's talk about Julia Roberts. She is revealing her secret to looking great at 56. Julia is featured on the cover of British Vogue. Wow, looking fabulous. She joked that her youthful looks come from pickling, quote unquote. She said she puts her head in a jar every other Saturday for 18 hours. What? But says the smell is awful. She later said the key to looking young is good genes and leading a life that is fulfilling and the love of a good man. Julia added that she believes her husband loves her and cares for her in a way that makes her feel deeply, deeply happy. And anytime you see someone who's happy, it doesn't matter how old they are. Oh, wow. All right. What do we think about all this?
Just hearing her say that, it made me think about my grandparents. Like, they were like deeply in love until they both passed. And I didn't really, I wish I could say, and that's how I looked at all my relationships. I just thought it was such an anomaly. You know, I kind of went on my journey and had to find myself. But I kind of saw that in real time, and it's just hitting me just now as I was reading. I was like, oh, I've seen two people that just enjoyed each other the whole time. So, yeah, I think that's what she's talking about.
Tori feels very differently, though. I know. I can see like the irk in her.
I feel very differently, but
Tell me.
it rang a bell, a little red flag bell. Everything was fine, and then she said this.
Do you need a bell if you have a red flag?
It's both. They both come up at the same time.
Yeah, they do.
It's, when she said the love of a good man keeps me young. One thing is, it just rang a little bit, stand by your man a little bit to me, a little old fashioned, okay, that's cool. But, you know, I was talking to Karen, our producer, and we both sort of felt that, what does that say about not fulfilling yourself, A, as a single person and independent? Can they not feel beautiful at an older age if they don't have the love of a partner? And B, why does it have to be kind of patriarchal, I guess? It just kind of read wrong. Now, I know y'all are gonna come at me being like, she's nitpicking, but you know you're in a magazine. It's going out to a lot of people who look up to you. Should she probably have said maybe a strong sense of self and a great foundation?
You've got to have a fulfilling purpose.
Right.
And I think, I understand what you're saying, Tori, but I think her saying, you know, being in a very happy relationship with a man, she doesn't have to appeal to the masses. This is her truth, and she's speaking about what makes her individually feel good.
But she's in a magazine that is going out to the masses.
I know,
so as a public figure.
So she should lie just to accommodate everyone and just be like, you know what, everyone, and no matter what your partner is or what you do, or we should all just be happy all the time. No, I want to hear her truth. I'm not reading it to hear, you know, everyone's like so on form, everyone's so politically correct. It's not about appeasing everyone. We want that interview because we want to know what Julia Roberts has got to say.
And not only that, I'll say this, and maybe I'm wrong, but yesterday we celebrated Pat Carroll for speaking about how his wife helped him achieve success.
Oh, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll,
yes,
sorry about that.
Yes.
Clearly I don't watch much football. But I do remember that he really took the time to say without.
I'm sorry, I didn't know who Pat Carroll was.
I didn't either.
And I will always support you, Sam. And I was like, is that one?
I was like,
is my dad
I did not know.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
So the football coach of Alabama, I believe.
Seattle Seahawks. No, but he was talking about his wife.
No, that was Nick Saban.
Saban. Okay.
A man
Yes.
said that he wouldn't be where he is today without his wife. We all celebrate it,
Oh, good
including
point.
you.
Right.
Why are we now nitpicking Julia Roberts when she's doing the same exact thing?
Because she said, this keeps me young. Again, I don't care. I'm just simply bringing it up as a point. When you know you're going out to the masses, to say in this social climate that the love of a good man keeps me young just read off a little bit to me. Now, I'm not angry at her, you know, but
I see what you're saying,
yeah.
and I don't like the social climate where
Right.
you're coming from. And we could agree to disagree, right?
Right.
I'm not playing the game anymore. You know what I mean? The last 3 years have been really rough for me, and I've tried to appease to the masses.
Right.
But I'm tired of the disclaimers that I have to say before everything. If you want to judge me, that's fine. If I say I love my wife, it doesn't mean I'm against homosexuality or the LGBTQ community. I'm speaking for me.
Of course.
I don't care what you are. If you want to say your partner, say your partner. I'm speaking for myself. That's all I could do is speak from where I came from and how I feel. I'm not trying to offend anybody if I say my wife. I'm not trying to put anybody out. I'm not disrespecting anybody. But everyone wants to nitpick and not listen to what I'm saying about my wife. They rather say, this guy's against the LGBT community because he said his wife and not his partner. I'm sick of playing that game.
Yeah, well,
That's ending
but
with
it's not
me
just the
in
LGBT.
Final
2024.
thought, and then we'll get to the next story.
I'm using the LGBTQ
Right,
as an example, and I'm going to get in trouble just for using that as an example. But I'm sick of playing the game and the disclaimers. You'll know when I'm being disrespectful. I'll tell you to your face, and I'll
Right.
tell you on camera.
Right.
When I'm telling something about my truth, don't question where I'm coming from about
the
it. I'll tell
intention.
you
Right.
where I'm coming from about it.
I see it.
I'm sick of the dance. I really am.
Speaking of dances, I'm waiting for the jig.
What do you guys mean? I don't know what you mean.
Oh, it's her birthday. It's okay.
You did
It's
that,
her
Sam.
birthday. All right, so George Carlin's daughter is not impressed with a comedy special, and I say that in quotes, that uses AI to replicate his voice. George died back in 2008 at the age of 71 from congestive heart failure. The special used samples of his voice to create a new stand-up routine that's taken on everything from mass shootings to former President Trump. Listen.
I'd like to start off with a heartfelt apology. I'm sorry it took me so long to come out with new material, but I do have a pretty good excuse. I was dead. If you've seen some of my specials from when I was traditionally alive, maybe you might notice a small difference in the delivery of a joke or the turn of a phrase here or there, but you have to admit, this is pretty close to the George Carlin you remember, and that's gonna have to be good enough, so you might as well enjoy it.
Who's the woman at the end?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know who that
That was very
was.
creepy.
Maybe it's Pat Carroll.
All right. It's okay. Pivoting, because George's daughter Kelly is not laughing, and I understand that. I can't imagine if that was my family member. She posted a message on social media writing, quote, "My dad spent a lifetime perfecting his craft. From his very human life, brain, and imagination, no machine will ever replace his genius. Let the artist's work speak for itself." As a comedian, Al, how would you feel if someone did this to you posthumously?
Well, I feel like it's been done to me as a fan of George Carlin. I read all his books. I've seen all his specials, memorized most of them. Just the way that he played with words and language, and the way that he was allowed to come after major institutions, the United States, religion,
Right.
death, all the things that we are scared to talk about now. He was doing it then. The 7 words that you can't say on TV, he was arrested after that. There was a period of time where comedians got arrested for their material, Richard Pryor as well, so for obscenity laws. So when somebody's willing to risk their life to put their life on display for all of us with their material, with their heart and their thoughts, to go back and have some guy at his computer say, I think you would have said this, and use a knockoff voice of his, is I feel like what the writer's strike was about. It's taking people's likeness. Can we just do this with Prince's voice?
And can I say this, add to you, what he actually said in it is what I would play as the attorney. He goes, "My voice sounds strong enough and a lot like it, so you know what? You just proved my point. You sound so much like George Carlin. A
good
reasonable
point.
person would think that's George Carlin.
Good
That's
point.
illegal. That's highly illegal. I would be furious. I'd be suing. I'm sure they are. And I'd have a cease and desist. This is absurd. And George Carlin would be highly against it if I know anything about it.
I'm worried that
Mr. Carlin.
this is just
too.
something of things to come, Jeff. We're going to
It's only going to escalate.
What do you think,
absolutely.
Steph?
I think recently, ABBA, love ABBA. It's not
Dancing Queen.
Oh yes, there's like the
all
hologram
I know.
images, and also there's obviously Whitney Houston. We've seen her hologram performances. I haven't got a problem with that because I feel like that's something she actually did, and they've replicated it in some fancy form.
And the estate okayed it.
Well, also, she actually gave that performance and they've brought it back to life. This is completely hypothetical, completely. They've picked little words from this and that and like made together whatever they want him to say with no agreement from anybody, like, and his own daughter is saying she doesn't want it. So I think, like you said, he's taken his lifetime, put his life on his life on the line for his career. Like you said, being arrested, putting himself out there, just for someone behind a computer to make a bit of money when people click on it.
It's theft.
It's not right.
How do we not see it, Jeff, as just theft?
Yeah, it kind of was cringy to me listening to that because George Carlin is a genius that comes along once a decade. That's just how I feel. And to try to replicate that with the machine is insulting to me. It's insulting. And I wouldn't even want to listen to it.
Yep.
I would love to hear George Carlin's opinions on where we're at today in society, but we can't. Unfortunately, he's dead, and we're going to have to go back to his. He speaks a lot of what we're going through right now if you don't listen to George Carlin in his old stand-ups.
It's almost more relevant now.
It really,
It really
is, and
is. It's spooky.
it is spooky. So to try to replicate that with AI, and I am scared, in 10 years, are they going to perfect this technology?
Yes.
It really is scary where
Yeah.
we're going in the future.
And if someone can get that, I'm sorry, politically, and say we're starting a war, I'm so sorry, but that could be the beginning of something that was never happened.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Birthday pass.
Coming up on DBL, a woman who's been single her entire life is sharing why she's just as happy without a partner and how she's inspiring others to ignore societal pressure. Next.
Make sure the audience knows I also don't hate Julia Roberts for saying that.
No.
I didn't want people are like, Tori, you
No,
dumb
but see, that's the
idiot.
thing. We got to get away from that.
Yeah,
Like,
which
you
is
gotta
what you're
stop.
advocating
You got to
right
stop
now.
thinking like, hey, someone said something that I hate Julia. Like, we got to get away from that.
Right.
Obviously,
I was just bringing
if you
up a
said
point.
Something super disrespectful and right toward Julia Roberts, then you're being disrespectful.
Right,
Toward
there's a
Julia
malicious
Roberts.
intent.
If you're bringing up a conversation that stems from that, and we all have an open conversation about
That's all it was.
I feel like Bert's doing something. I mean, we need to have conversations
Totally,
about things. We need to just,
absolutely.
if you're not being disrespectful or putting people out in any sort of way, I think it's okay to have a conversation about
And question
anything.
it.
And we need to get back to that.
I agree with that. So I just wanted to let everybody know.
Yes.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Oh, you're the best. You are so
Look at this guy.
Oh my God.
Did we not get to the TikTok cruise? We're going to do that later.
I think we're doing the TikTok cruise later, right?
We're not doing it.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Tori, I'm ready to see the jig, the proper jig.
on too long with those other two stories.
I did my weird thing at the end.
Tori had to put a button on that.
It was a bad button. We all agree it was a bad button. I did take a class on.
Wait, are you going to do it on air?
There's no music.
Should I do it on air? I'll save it. Okay. It is a lot of calf muscle and leg muscle. Calves. And just a little preview.
Is this like the river dance?
Yeah. So again, we're gonna just a little preview for
But she
you.
doesn't know how to do the river dance, so she's just gonna stomp a lot and be like, "That's it." As far as you know.
Kind of did it.
Yeah, I did.
Totally did it.
Would love your
I don't know about totally.
would love your opinion
did
since
it.
I share everything.
did it.
The place I'm going for vacation is going to be cold and raining,
Where you going?
and it's in the 60s. Do I cancel and
Yeah, it's
reschedule?
soft. Yeah.
It was meant for
Are you
a relaxing
I can't wear a corset.
on the beach, snorkeling in Mexico, and it's going to be very.
Can you cancel it? Is there a I would say yes.
Welcome back. If you aren't in a romantic relationship, would you call yourself alone? Well, many people say single equals alone, but one social scientist says being single can actually be your happier ever after. To talk more about it, please welcome to the show Dr. Bella DePaulo.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me. I love talking about this.
This is really exciting, Dr. DePaulo. It's actually something I've kind of talked off air with my co-host about. Is I think there might be a lack of quality partners out there, and a lot of people might go single, and they might be happier. In your book, I have it right here. It's called Single at Heart. Maybe you can explain to our audience just what does being single at heart mean?
Right. So people who are single at heart love being single, and they want to stay single. And they are happy and flourishing because they're single, not in spite of it. And you mentioned, well, some people might, there aren't good enough people out there for them. No, but the single at heart, it's not negative reasons. And I consider myself single at heart. We are powerfully drawn to single life for positive reasons, for the freedom it offers us, for the possibilities of creating our own life with lots of connections as well as lots of solitude. And when I was introduced as someone who will say that it's just as good for the single at heart to be single as to be coupled, it's better. I am a happier.
She's happy.
more
She's
full-
Happy.
You are
what
making
you have.
a real, you are
energy.
selling just
Yes.
by her energy.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I know, I can tell.
Wow, that's what happens when you don't have 41 years of fighting in the kitchen.
There you go.
When you can just enjoy your life.
I want to know, because you're clearly enthralled with your situation right now. So I want to know, what are the biggest stereotypes and misconceptions of single people?
Oh, well, probably every single stereotype you heard is exactly wrong. So one of them is that what single people want more than anything in the world is to not be single anymore. They want to unsingle themselves. Well, no. The Pew Research Center did this national survey 2 different years, and they asked solo single people, so they're not married and they don't have a romantic partner, if they want a romantic partner. And they found that half of them, at least half of them, don't want a romantic partner, and they don't even want a date.
Wow, our audience is blowing up. Jay Kim saying, I love it. I'm definitely single at heart. So let me ask you this. What should people in relationships stop asking or doing for their single friends?
Wow. Well, first of all, don't ask, why are you single? Or even worse, why are you still single? That makes it like you have to justify your status. I mean, would you ask a married person, why are you married? Oh dear, why are you still married? If you wouldn't do that to a married person, don't do it to a single person.
Smart.
All right, man. I want whatever you're eating.
I know.
What's going on? How does single life get better as you get older?
Oh, I love this. Now, there are like 3 big national surveys from 3 different countries showing that as single people get older, they get happier and happier with their lives. And that's especially true just when people think single people are becoming, sadder and lonelier, when they, from around age 40, for decades after that, single people are getting happier and happier. And the ones who are especially likely to be getting happier and happier are the ones who are single at heart, who invest in their single lives. They embrace them. And so they are reaping the rewards of taking their single life seriously.
Wow. So for people who are widowed or divorced later in life, how can they embrace the single life again?
Right. So that can be such a painful experience to be widowed or divorced, especially at first. But it also comes with opportunities. You get to find out who you really are. So think of all the things you did in your marriage that maybe you were kind of going along with your spouse, or, you didn't think about it too much. Well, now you get to be who you really are. And figure out what you really like. And that could be anything from the foods you used to share to the places you used to go or not go. Another thing you can do is be more attentive to your friends or relatives, anyone you want to be with, spend time with. You can do that without worrying that your spouse thinks that more of that time should be for them.
Wow, isn't that the truth? Yeah. Dr. DiPaolo, listen, we could have you on for much longer. You are so inspiring. Thank you for joining us today. DBL Nation, you got to pick up a copy of her book, Single at Heart, wherever books are sold. Thank you again. You're reinventing the wheel and giving us a lot of thought.
Something to think about, really.
Our audience is all over
enjoyed
it.
it.
Our audience loves it.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome back. Computer elbow is a real thing, and relief might be as easy as fixing your posture when you sit. Experts say your forearm should form a 90-degree angle with your upper arm, and you don't want your forearms to be too high or too low. So do you guys understand what computer elbow is? Do you check your posture while sitting?
I didn't know what it was when I wrote my screenplay. I was sitting for a long time, and I didn't realize it was kind of cutting the circulation of my forearm was off. And then when I got the standing desk, I used to look at my agent and I'd be like, "Are you trying to put put a power play on me, you know, because it's very intimidating. You're like, where's your chair, dog? You know, but then after a while, it's like, I kind of like standing. You get that right, the good angle, and it works.
Yeah, I also think you can set an alarm every 30 minutes or every hour.
Who's going to do that?
I do.
Who's going to set an alarm?
So mid-conversation, your alarm's going to go off.
That's my computer elbow alarm.
At an office with hundreds of people.
Just a vibration. Just a vibration
Does
to
he
do
have a
this.
little move around?
Her computer elbow alarm.
Just to think about your posture.
To make sure that that's your last day at work.
Every half hour. Time to look at Tori. Time to look at Tori. Time to look at Tori.
You just
I
look
think- I feel like we have that alarm here.
Yeah. You look in her office and just. Why have I been fired?
She doesn't have an office.
No, I have a desk.
This discussion was sponsored by Omega XL, a powerful joint support that's helped millions of consumers. It's backed by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of celebrities, athletes, and dedicated daily users. Give them a call at 800-814-6985 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. It is a very special day for someone on the panel.
Ooh.
It's Tori's birthday! If the sash didn't give it away. To celebrate, she's is heading to Mexico with her husband.
That's true.
Tori, we know you haven't packed yet.
Right.
Packed last minute.
I have never even thought
So
of it.
we thought we'd help you. Here's a little gift basket with everything
Stop.
you need.
Stop. Stop. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yep.
Oh, this is fabulous.
Yep.
Okay, we got sunglasses for
Yep.
everyone.
No, they're for you.
All right, let's do this.
They're
Guys,
for you.
this really has made my
keep
day.
looking, keep
Okay,
looking.
You've got some beach towels in there.
Oh my God, I
Yep.
needed this. It's a phone case
Yes.
that is waterproof. Get out of town.
There's a lot of goodies in
Calm
there.
down.
Okay, I'm really
What's
excited.
going on up
I'm
there?
so sorry.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much, you guys. As well as Hawaiian Tropic mineral powder SPF.
Anything you need for the beach. Yeah.
Okay?
What's your hat say? Dip.
Dip. What does
No,
it say? Oh.
Dip your head. Says, do not disturb.
I love
Oh!
But you like it when people disturb.
Trust me, I don't think they will.
And again, a big shout out again for everyone for helping me get through this year. It's been really tough, and I just want to say I recognize and see all of you if anyone's else having a hard time.
Jig time.
Jig time! Here we go!
It's a birthday jig.
Tori, 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 Tori.
That's good.
Tori, Tori.
I'm really tired. Okay.
Yeah,
You
right
have
on.
20 more seconds.
Really?
Keep going.
Does
Don't
anyone-
stop.
Yes.
Does anyone want to join?
Do not stop. Go, 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 go. 10 more seconds. Don't stop. Go.
I'm faster.
Faster. Faster.
Thank you, guys. Woo! Oh, God.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
It's a new year, and DBL is starting off with a bang.
It's the same.
Don't throw that in the conversation because it's not the same.
That is the
It's not.
conversation.
No, it's not.
DBL is all new in 2024.
I'm going to say something that's not popular.
Oh, Tori brings up a very valid point here.
I appreciate you having a really
Same.
honest conversation on television.
It's all happening right here. DBL is all new every day.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Grammy-nominated singer Jelly Roll gives powerful testimony to Congress about fentanyl,
I was a part of the problem.
how he's using his past as a former drug dealer to help save lives. No more right turn on red, the cities that are considering banning it in an effort to decrease pedestrian deaths. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's tale of triumph after being released from prison. A psychiatrist joins us to break down the trauma from her childhood as she deals with her new celebrity status as an adult. And a woman who's been single her entire life is sharing why she's just as happy without a partner.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. Stephanie Jones joining us.
Yes.
When you're with us, also
yeah.
on Tori Shulman's birthday.
What? Happy birthday!
Is it your birthday?
It is my birthday. I'm 42. Very proud because aging is a privilege that we all don't get to have.
And I saw you were wearing a sash.
I have a
earlier.
birthday sash, so it's a big day.
Maybe the most
I love
embarrassing thing you could do.
And I'm going to do a birthday jig sometime during the
Second most
broadcast.
embarrassing thing you could
I'm
do.
very
Stick
excited.
around.
Oh, I can't
Stick
wait.
around.
It's
You
gonna
don't
be
know
a
when.
surprise.
So-
I
I'm
cannot.
very excited.
Me
Will you be
too.
wearing said sash
I
during
will be.
the jig?
I will be.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
All
love
right.
it. So
Somebody be
nobody's watching.
ready off stage to throw the sash on her when jig comes to the
Table. That's right.
I
all
love
right,
it.
all right. Let's begin because this is actually very important, and I know a lot of families watching fentanyl has affected you. So we're going to begin with Jelly Roll, the rapper and country music star. Well, he was on Capitol Hill testifying in front of Congress, appealing to them to do more to tackle America's fentanyl crisis. Take a look.
190 people a day overdose and die every single day in the United States of America. That is about a 737 plane. That's what about a 737 aircraft can carry. Could you imagine the national media attention it would get if they were reporting that a plane was crashing every single day and killing 190 people? But because it's 190 drug addicts, we don't feel that way. Because America has been known to bully and shame drug addicts, instead of dealing and trying to understand what the actual root of the problem is with that.
Wow, he is right. He called to lawmakers, or on lawmakers rather, to pass the Fend Off Fentanyl Act. So this is what it does. It will target Chinese chemical suppliers and Mexican drug cartels who traffic the drug. Okay, so Tori, you do have some additional information for us. Are his facts right?
Right, the CDC was fact-checking this. Over 150 people do die every day from an overdose from synthetic opioids like fentanyl. He's right on the money there. Just so you guys know, in 2021, when it was really bad, it's 67,325 fentanyl overdose deaths in the year. That's 184 a day. So he's right on the money with that.
As a parent, Jeff, what are you thinking?
So much going on, and this is such an extended conversation. It's hard to wrap up in 5 minutes with all of us talking. But for me, again, I sound like a conspiracy, I believe in all these conspiracy theories, but it starts with the government, right? And that's not a conspiracy theory. They get people hooked on their drugs, right? And it starts with the government letting that go through. They know it's addictive. We've all seen the documentaries. And then when it gets to the streets and your doctor starts cutting you off because he's doing the ethical thing, you're already addicted to it. And that's when the cartels step in. We know it's coming from China. We know they're delivering it to Mexico. Now our borders are... It's pretty easy to get through our borders, okay? Right now, people are flooding into our country, which means drugs are coming into our country. And if we cut that off, at least we'd cut off there's always going to be drugs. We're never going to stop it. But there's a lot of people to blame that are making a lot of money that are never going to stop this, addiction. And it's something I think that we're stuck with forever, unfortunately, in the United States.
And agreed. Everybody, please chime in. But I do want to show this first because when I was looking at how this went viral, a lot of the comments were saying, why Jelly Roll?
Right.
He's a convicted drug dealer. He actually spoke to that, and I want you guys to watch this.
Equally, I think it's important for me to tell y'all that I'm not here to defend the use of illegal drugs. And I also understand the paradox of my history as a drug dealer standing in front of this committee. But equally, I think that's what makes me perfect to talk about this. I was a part of the problem. I am here now standing as a man that wants to be a part of the solution. I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about, just like these drug dealers are doing right now when they're mixing every drug on the market with fentanyl, and they're killing the people we love.
Al, thoughts?
It's so interesting. You know, I started thinking about, Jeff, they'll have a movie about a casino, or just like we've heard about people that count cars that get caught trying to rip off casinos. And you know what casinos do? They hire them to figure out how they did that. And it's because the person that can rip off the casino, who is better to talk about how what they were doing was not only wrong, but how they can stop that? Who better than somebody who's literally been addicted to those drugs and sold those drugs and know what the people that buy those drugs, what their homes look like,
right,
what their situations look like, than somebody that's lived in those communities. Sorry, a Hollywood actor, myself, I'm not gonna really know all about that, but he would. But unfortunately, because we are about aesthetics in this country, somebody that looks like that, his credibility is somehow marred because he decided to decorate his face with tattoos. And I think until we figure out that people that don't necessarily look like a senator have something important to say, we can't move forward. I think Steph, Jelly Roll has a lot to say, and I think we should listen to him. But then after he says it, we have to really question ourselves about how we are going to act on that. Because as soon as we try and act, that means that we are going to have to get politicians involved. And when I watch that